Let's get back to the snow jet for a little bit. So everybody's out of town from the speed shop but me, so I've decided I'm going to do a little work on a sled. I'm going to work on the snow jet. So look at how cool the seat looks on here. Too bad it doesn't work. It turns out the motor goes up here. So we won't be using that seat from the RXL. I think we'll probably use it on the RXL anyways. So what I do want to do today is work on the gas tank. So this snow jet, the gas tank is built into the belly pan, like at the front of the tunnel, in front of the track. It's rusty, it's full of varnish, it smells awful. The filler neck's been broken off and JB welded back on. That would, take welding or brazing or something to even reattach that. And I don't want to deal with it. So I looked around online, and somebody has already, with basically this identical snowmobile, they put in one of these Skidoo Elan tanks. And it seems like an easy choice. Greg had some extras, so he gave me one. And so I guess my main goal for today is to get this chassis tank thing cleaned out well enough that I can cut it open and try to slip in the Skidoo tank. So let's get after it. All right, so here's the situation. This thing has been like JB welded back on. Seems pretty well, it's not very solid. You can see it's going to leak, and oh boy, the varnish smell that I just stirred up. So the front of the Skidoo tank is going to go up here where the muffler is, so I'll be relocating the muffler. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. I wasn't going to let that 1.5 foot of flexi hose stay on anyways. So I don't know, I'm going to get after it. Let me get that muffler out of there first, and then we'll set to draining the tank. All right, here's what I got going. So I got this extractor tank, and you hook up your air hose to it, and it does like a Venturi effect thing, and it sucks. Let's find out how much it sucks. All right, that's done. I don't know if you can see that. Sure you can. So that's how much really stinky gas came out of that gas tank. Gonna go get this thing out of the shop and let things air out for a bit now. So you're probably asking yourself, Nutter, how are you gonna cut this thing open without any danger to you or anything else? Well, the answer is pretty simple there. That's a tank of argon. And at the other end of the tank of argon is a hose feeding into, right there, into the fuel tank. And you can hear argon escaping around that gas cap. So, argon is inert gas, obviously. That's why we use it for TIG welding. And argon's very heavy. So, whatever's coming out the top of that gas cap is pretty much air. I've got it set up for a pretty good flow rate. So, I'm only going to let it purge for a few minutes, and then I think we'll be good to go. All right, here's the tool of choice. It's a little auto body saw. At least across the back where we got good depth. Argon is quite high now, 60 cubic feet per hour. There's no way I'll be able to displace all that. There's still quite a bit of disgusting fuel in there, so all right, well, we got a bunch more cutting to do to get that skidoo tank in there. Just a bunch. I'm probably going to cut it back to right about here to make it fit. So we'll give you a better look at what's going on there once that's done. All right, first look inside the tank now that it's open. So, some kind of tank liner that's failed. Obviously been failed for a long time. You can see from the rust. That was going to come apart and clog the fuel filter. Rotten pickup lines. Rotten pickup. Whatever this is. I don't know. Bunch of crap in there. That fill neck. Boy, it was pretty satisfying to rip that off. I'm sorry I didn't get it on camera. It was 100% glued in with JB Weld. That's all it was. So done with that. So I'm going to give this thing a little bit of a wipe. And let's see. Can you really see in there? Boy, it's gross. We'll wipe it out and we'll see how that skidoo tank fits. I'll bring you back. Get some bad news. There is no way that works without cutting and welding that whole brace there. I don't want to do that. But this is an AMF skedaddler tank. So I could cut it back to here. Obviously, I'm going to have to remove the battery tray. And that might be enough to make that skedaddler tank work. We're going to find out. There we go. Just got to show you this on this gas tank sealer. I noticed there's that huge hardened something. None of this sealer adhered. This was just going to be a nightmare. Look at this stuff. This was not going to be good on the trail. All right, back again. Look at all that rust. I got the sealer out. That's rust. Between the sealer failing and that rust, this was going to haunt this sled forever. You may or may not like what I did, but this saved the sled. You were never going to get that cleaned out with crud cutter or muriatic acid or whatever else with that liner in there. That was going to keep coming out and coming out and coming out. Rust is the gift that just keeps giving. All right, let's hope this fits this time. Ooh, nice and snug. Now, does the hood close? I had this feeling the hood wasn't going to close. Well, we will remedy that as well. We'll figure it out. I'm guessing it's this vent right here. Let's take that out quick. Oh. Great. It's broke already. All right, headlight opening. Looks like if I cut that out a little bit to clearance for the filler neck and the cap, it might shut. I guess we'll find out. Give you a little better look. Definitely hitting right there. That is what's stopping it. Otherwise, there's room. So I'll cut that out. Well, there we go. I'm pretty happy with this. So hood shuts completely now. No clearance issues whatsoever. That thing probably would have hit. Yep, I butchered her, but now I can get my hand around the gas cap so I can take the gas cap off. So that's nice. Tommy he'll clean up this cut for me eventually. Tommy's like an artist with that body saw. But there we go. Pretty happy with that. So, how am I going to hold it in? Well, there's a big gap down here due to the shape of the skedaddler tank. And so I'll drill some holes. I'll run some metal strap up over the top and back down to this bar. I'll screw them right into these old weld bits. Also, I'll put some edge trim on this sharp edge here so that the tank doesn't wear into that. Other than that, I don't know. Looks pretty good. I'm not going to try to pack it in real tight or anything. It's great if it can air dry and not rust out the belly pan. So, AMF skedaddler tank for the win. And I got to add, this is a solid 1 gallon add over the snowjet capacity. Even though we're losing this, look at all this up here we gained. When Tommy ran this sled in 2010 in the big Detroit 100, he ran out of gas in 4 laps. So that means it's pretty iffy if it would make it out and back on the Wild Bill without a refill. So an extra gallon, that's a good call. That's a victory beer for saving this thing. Maybe you hate it. Maybe you think I hacked it up. Could have done a prettier job. Well, we're building a 1 lung race sled here. That's it. If it ever gets entered in a show, it'll be entered in the rat rod class. What's the harm? The main thing is I'm not going to have these constant fuel system problems that I would have had otherwise. Now, I've had other sleds where the tank was in the tunnel like this, and I've fought those problems for years. One of them was a Scorpion, and eventually Toad Spaghetti said, cut it out and put in a plastic tank. It was the best thing I ever did. That sled was flawless after that, at least as far as the fuel system goes. So, I don't know, I feel like it's a huge win. So I want to say big thanks to the patrons. See their names up there. Patrons help out the channel a lot. They get to see all the videos early. They get to see them ad-free. They give us financial support so we can keep going on these builds. And, most importantly, the patrons keep us motivated. So here's to you guys. Clean the carbs, patrons. Everybody else, thank you for watching. Especially if you watched this far, I really appreciate it. Please hit subscribe if you haven't yet, because if you watch this far, you probably like the kind of videos I do. And I guess we'll see you at the, when? The next swap is the Princeton swap. We'll see you at the Princeton swap.